All right, Bob Bannister in conversation with the one, the only Madison Galloway. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, it's great having you here at CGCM Rock Radio, and it's always great to promote Canadian talent. I will say that much. And even better to be able to promote talent that's just literally down Highway 6 from me here in Owen Sound.
Yes.
And for those of you watching and listening that are not too familiar, Owen Sound is in kind of southwestern Ontario. Where Madison is living is just about maybe what hour south on Highway 6.
Yeah, like an hour and a half or so. Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
great little village. I've got
Just
some
down the road.
cousins that live there too. Yeah, just down the road. Yeah. But okay, tell us, who is Madison Galloway? Tell us the Coles Notes backstory of Madison Galloway.
The backstory. Yeah, I am, well, I'm a roots rock artist, southern rock artist from, like you said, Fergus, Ontario, just down the road from Owen Sound. And I've been professionally pursuing music since about 2015. I'm now putting out my third album, my second full length, but my third album. And I've been, yeah, well, my first EP, my first album came out in 2015. And yeah, I don't know. I started playing piano when I was 6 years old, and then I eventually, well, I didn't move on to guitar because I was still taking piano actually, because I was going through like the RCM stuff with piano and wanted to get my grade 8, which I did. But then I started playing guitar as well when I was 12, I think, and then that was my thing. I was like, I like this. I mean, I did enjoy piano. I shouldn't say like I like this, but I did love playing piano. Have always loved music, but I guess when I started playing guitar, it just felt more of like um of a passion, I guess, and something that I wanted to um well, eventually then I wanted to pursue as like a career. So, yeah.
Right. So that piano training gave you the necessary grounds to move on to guitar, then more or less.
Yeah, I think it was definitely really helpful in learning guitar. Yeah, for sure. I think it makes learn picking up any instrument after already knowing an instrument, especially piano. Yeah, I think it really helps picking up other things.
Now you were mentioning your other two albums that you've got out there. Well,
Mm.
your EP and your album, and you've had a pretty busy couple years in 2023 and 2024. You've released, including this new one that's coming out on May 3rd, which I can't wait to hear. By the way,
Thank you.
Moonlight. Yes, and you've released what? This will be what, 6 singles since
Um,
2023?
think so. 6 or 7, maybe, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the,
Eight.
oh, sorry. Well, yeah, yeah, 8 off of the new record because we did 2 in 2022, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Right.
which are off of this album as well. So this is like the eighth off the album. Yeah, we've just been like putting out, I don't know, trying something new, just putting each one out. So we can, for like mostly for like Spotify because you can like pitch it to um the editorial playlist and stuff, right? But you can only
Right.
do like one at a time. But I think it's been cool, like to build the hype around each one and it gets, people listening to each one. I think, yeah, I don't know.
But it's kind of interesting. I went back as I was preparing some notes today, and I was listening
Mm.
to Moon and Mercury, your album that came out in
Yeah.
2019, and listening to that and listening to the stuff you've released recently. I'm hearing a real evolution in the sound of Madison Galloway. You've gotten a little more, or I should say, a lot more electric.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Moon and Mercury was a bit of an eclectic blend. I mean, there was a few tunes on there that were, I think right in line with the stuff that we're putting out now. There was like I'm thinking of like Doors and Devil in Her Eye, Season of Treason.
Hmm.
Were a bit rockier, more, electric. but there was definitely a range of things on that album. There's like I had a couple softer acoustic tunes. There was like a couple ukulele tunes. There was some real like sort of back porch. Or one tune was real sort of back porch. Yeah, a lot of rootsy stuff. It was just, yeah, it was a really big blend of things on that album. Whereas I think I sort of found the main direction that I wanted to go with, at least for this project. Who knows what will happen after? But yeah, I think that I kind of settled into what I feel like right now, at least, is kind of me and my sound and the way I like to sing and the way I like to play and stuff, which is yeah, sort of southern rocky, that like blues rock, just kind of yeah, blend.
I did notice a couple things on that album. The title track, Moon and Mercury, and on Coffee Stains. Most definitely, and this is just me speaking here. I definitely sensed a little bit of a Zeppelin vibe coming through, almost a Bronniar stomp. I see it.
Yeah, well, they're like my favorite band, so yeah, that's really cool that I don't know, because I think that when I wrote those tunes, it wasn't that I sat and said, oh, I want to write my own Bronniar stomp. It was just me writing. That was what came out. And I think for me, listening to my own music, like I never really, I don't know if I really connected it to having any sort of sound like Zeppelin. I think maybe because I held them in such a high place, it's like, of course, my music doesn't sound like Zeppelin. And but then I have had people like say that to me, like, oh, I can hear the Zeppelin influences in there, and I'm like, cool, thank you.
That's something I have to be very, very careful of too, depending on who I'm listening to on the radio.
Right.
I will go and I'll do something and then I'll listen back and I'll go, oh man, I totally ripped that guy off. That was like really so and so or so and so. I'm not going to name drop here, but because you never know who's watching, right?
Yeah.
But it's very easily done just to copy subconsciously like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that happens all the time. Like, and even when it's not as sort of clear, I guess, like everybody's own sort of musicality, I guess, or creative style, is sort of like the foundation of that, where it sort of grows out of is going to be everybody, that person's, you know, influences, their favorite artists, right? Like little bits and pieces of what you listen to is going to come through as you mold your own thing. And then, but yeah, sometimes you're like, oh yeah, no, I totally just ripped that off of that person. I've definitely done that before too. Actually, I have a song right now that I'm still trying to figure out if I have or if I haven't. Like, I play it, I'm like, it sounds familiar, which is good, but I'm like, but is it familiar because it is something, or is it just familiar sounding and feeling right? Or did I just rip somebody off? I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. It wasn't intentional if I did, though, I promise.
No. We all understand that. Now,
Yeah.
speaking of songs and stuff like that, you've stepped into some pretty big shoes with you covered the Animals, House of the Rising Sun, and now Jefferson Airplane, White Rabbit.
Yeah.
Those are huge shoes to step into. I mean,
For sure.
Honestly speaking, I think Grace Slick would be proud of your
Thank you.
cover of White Rabbit.
Thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
And you are very active on social media as well, doing lives all the time.
Yes.
I actually have tuned into several of those, just kind of have it going in the background as I'm doing different things.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. So tell us more about that.
Thank you. Yeah. So I had started live streaming when I was so not when I was, when COVID first happened, that's what I was trying to say. I had a show, well, I had a bunch of shows that got canceled, but it was, I think it was the first one that had actually got canceled. And my mom had actually suggested to me, she was like, well, why don't you, why don't we try doing a live stream instead? Like we don't have the show to go to anymore. So why don't we just do a show at home? And like I had never done a live stream like show before. We'd had kind of thrown it up at, some of the live shows that I had done and thrown up like the live stream to catch what, like the live show is doing, but I've never sat down to do like a live stream show. So anyway, so we tried it, and not knowing what to expect. I didn't have like, like really high sort of sights set for it. Like I was like, oh, if like 10 people show up or something, like that would be amazing, right? And it was like so much better than that. There was so many people who had come on to it, and people were requesting songs. I had like a big list of songs people could request from, because when I first started sort of pursuing music as more of a career, I did a lot of busking and just in Elora. And so I had, kind of got a decent list of covers on this list, and so we had posted it and let people like make requests off it. So we had people making requests and chatting in the comments, and saying how cool it was to to do like to be on like a live stream show, or that I was doing that. And we did it for like 4 hours. I think the first one, my phone had died in the middle of it, and I plugged it in and I came back onto Facebook, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, my phone died. And we did like another 2 hours.
That's
And
very
so,
cool.
yeah. So then we decided, like I had a bunch of people ask me like, oh, so are you gonna do more? I was like, yeah, I think so. And so then we did it again the same that following week at the same time, and then we did that for the next 4 years. Well, it's changed times and days a bit, and we've done different series, but I have not stopped live streaming, and it's been really cool to be able to connect and with people from all over the world, not just Southern Ontario, as much as we love meeting and connecting with friends from Southern Ontario as well. But it's also really cool to be able to, connect with people from all over the place.
It really is. Technology is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It really is.
So what does the summer of 2024 look like for Madison Galloway? Are you have you got any really big shows coming up, or just
Yeah. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
I was finished.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of shows coming up. I have a very exciting November actually happening. Not the summer, but yeah, we've got actually next week. We are doing I'm playing a couple shows. I'm playing in Elora, and then as a duo, I'm playing in Binbrook outside Hamilton. We're doing a Rib Fest, and I'm doing a few Rib Fests. I'm doing it's almost like a mini Rib Fest tour this summer. And yeah, so we've got those. I'm going to be having a CD release party. That's going to be a really fun, big show. And the date and location is not yet announced, but that will be happening as well. So the official sort of release show for the new album, which comes out in June. So it'll be around then. Yeah, so that's coming up. So it'll be good and fun, and I'm very excited for that. And then in November, we're actually doing our first European tour.
Ooh,
Yeah. So, yeah, very exciting.
that's very, very cool. Now,
Yeah.
a couple more questions before we wrap this up here. This one's a little, I don't know. I think I might have gone a little bit too wordy on this question. So I'm gonna that's my problem. Sometimes I get typing stuff out and it's like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. I'll just keep going on this. And then I look back and it's like, that's a paragraph and a half. That's not a question.
All right, Liz.
All right. So I've noticed in recent years, even more so in recent months, there's been a real influx of female artists. Like Samantha Fish, Hannah Wickland, Anna Popovich. Is this, in your opinion, a leveling of the playing field, or is it just people waking up going, hey, you know what? Everybody can play just as well.
Yeah, I don't. That's a really interesting question. Um, yeah, hmm, I'd maybe be inclined to think that, like, there's just more attention, sort of, yeah, being like brought to like female blues rock artists, maybe. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know if like it's that it's more people are doing it than there was, right? Because, I'm thinking of, say, like Samantha Fish or Larkin Poe, like they've been making records for, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I wonder if it's just a matter of, you know, sort of being featured, or like even for me, I feel like for me personally, because like I feel like I didn't really know about all the, cool blues rock ladies that there are out there, um, until I sort of started to look for them and discovered them. And then I was like, oh, look at this cool chick and look at this cool chick. And that was really cool for me, to find other people that were kind of, doing the same thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess my answer is, I've had a very wordy answer to the wordy question. So it's worked out. Yeah, I think that like it might just be more, I don't know. Yeah, maybe like more media attention around it, or just like people individually, like I said for myself, like people just like discovering it more, right? I don't know. Yeah, not really sure.
Awesome. Great answer.
Food for thought, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then one final thing, it's a section that I like to call
Yeah.
this or that. Just quick, rapid fire, one word things.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Summer or winter?
Oh, summer all the way. I hate winter. I love being warm.
Club gig or festival stage?
Oh, that's hard because they're so different and I like them for different reasons, but I think I have to say festival. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sprite or 7-Up?
I don't know. I don't really, I guess Sprite. I don't know.
and then finally, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Um, it's not like it's not one of my go-to toppings now. I feel like I used to like it, and I don't really, yeah, I don't really put it on pizza now. But I'm not like a big like of like, people get really upset about it.
Oh, hugely.
I'm like, you can put whatever you want on it. I don't care. But like, I don't normally now these days.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us, Madison. And
Thank you so much for having me.
You're quite welcome. And give us the address to your website with all the links to all your
Yeah.
socials and stuff.
You can find everything at madisongalloway.com.